So here's my West Coast IPA that I call the Oregon Trail Go West Young Man. Celebrated my son's move to Oregon, which he made last week. Took him 5 days to go across country from South Carolina to Portland, Oregon. So I figured I'd make this because I like doing themes. And, celebrate his move. So we're going to give it a tasting here and see how that goes. I'm happy with the color, but I don't know if that's a true West Coast IPA style color, but I'm happy with it. Nice and clear. Looks good. So we're going to give it the taste test. I also picked up a random West Coast IPA by chance, which I didn't know at the time. This place Easy Lift West Coast IPA by chance is, out of all places, Portland, Oregon. Did not mean to do that. It just happened. I just wanted to compare. A little, I don't know if you can see that. Danks a lot. I guess it's a dank West Coast. I don't know. It's just they're saying. I just wanted to compare the two West Coast IPA. Obviously, there's a, I have to look and see. Take time after this to go look and see if there's money I can find what they use to make this Easy Lift from Great Nation. See what they use because the malts, the grains are different, obviously, the color of it. Because I used a pale 2-row Viking Crystal 40 Munich malt and a white wheat malt. So I'm gonna have to look that up and see why, see what the difference is. But anyway, I just wanted another West Coast IPA to compare it to. I like the West Coast IPAs. So there's no doubt that Munich malt that I used in mine is giving it that color. So I guess they don't use that in theirs. I mean, again, I always do this, but I guess I'm just not as good at detecting these notes from the hops as other people are. Let me see what I had to use in there. Cascade and Simcoe at the end for the aroma, but I don't know. I don't smell a whole lot of anything. I always say I just smell beer. I don't know. So. Excuse me. So there I definitely taste, I believe I definitely can taste the Centennial that I used in there. The Centennial and the Cascade. There was the Magnum. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of hops in here anyway. 3 ounces, 3.5 in boil, and 2 dry. I don't taste my Citra. I usually can detect Citra hops when I'm in a beer drinking it. I don't detect that. I think this is more that, a little bit of that Magnum that was used as 60 minutes for that bitter. Just, it's very slight. There's not much to that in this beer. But I'll tell you, I think this might be one of the best, if not the best ones I've made. This is a really nice, light, very easy drinking beer. I might have to make this again before the summer's out, because once I start having steamed crabs, you gotta have beer if you're having steamed crabs here in Maryland. And this would be a perfect beer. And I'm still getting a little bit of that Magnum now. Still can taste them hops at there. This would be a really good beer with steamed crabs. This is a really, really, this has turned out much better than I thought it was going to do. This is definitely going to be one that I have to save and make again. This is awesome. I'm really happy with this. It's only 5%. I did miss out on that mark. The original OG. That gravity. I didn't quite hit what I was looking for. I think it was at least, I wanted 1060. And I came in short of that, or 1070. So it's not a very, again, it's only 5%, average beer, right? But that's pretty good. I'm kind of glad I tried this. And it's a shame because my son's not going to be able to taste this beer. I don't know if there's any way I can get him some. Uh, but anyway, this is awesome. This turned out good. I'll have to try that. Try this little easy lift, and compare that once I'm done with this one. Okay, so I'm looking up on their website. This is 6.3%. They debuted this in 2024. Easy Lift is our year-round West Coast IPA, dry hop with Mosaic and Cascade and Simcoe, which I didn't do any of that kind. I didn't use those in my dry hopping. I did use a half ounce of Simcoe as the very end, 5 minutes left. Is it for flavor? Or is that aroma? I think it's for aroma. That late. Classic pine and grapefruit aromas meet red berry and pineapple flavor. Now again, maybe I do smell some pine. I think I smell a little pine there, but I don't smell grapefruit. I can smell the pine. That's interesting. Okay. Definitely has a berry taste and a little bit of a pineapple flavor. It has more of a, I think if you look at that, it's definitely like a more of a body to it, medium body than mine. Mine was much lighter than that body than this one. I'm just trying to read a couple things. I don't, obviously you're not going to get a recipe on there. I don't know what kind of grain bill they use. I would imagine, would you have added some type of oats to that? I don't know. I have to look into that more with the West Coast. It's a good beer. I mean, it definitely has a lot more flavor than mine. But I guess they were shooting for that, and they did a good job with hitting that red berry and pineapple flavor with their pine aroma. I could crush a lot more than one I made. It's just, again, it's a lighter mouthfeel body to it. So I could probably sit and drink more of mine at one setting than this, because I think this would just fill me a little bit more, fill me up a little bit more, a little heavier beer. Good beer. I just don't think, when it comes to like a berry flavor in a beer, after a while, I think it gets to me, and I don't necessarily. That's not what I'm looking for in my beers. But that doesn't mean this is bad. This is a good beer. I just don't think I could sit down and drink like 3 or 4 of them. Anyway, mine's gone. I have to get more. I'm really, really happy with this one. I'm really happy. I'm just gonna have to make some more because this is gonna go quick. This is too easy drinking. So anyway, that's my Oregon Trail. Go West, young man. Hope to go visit soon and check out Portland more so than I did before when I was out there for just the weekend. Maybe I can spend a week out there in the summertime when the weather's a little better and it's not in the 60s and raining. So anyway, try out the Great Nation. Great Nation. Easy Lift West Coast IPA. If you see it around, it's worth a try. I just don't know if I could buy a bunch and drink a bunch. It's not necessarily, again, I keep repeating myself. It's not necessarily my style when it comes to that berry flavor in there. So anyway, cheers. My next project is a beer I've never tried before. I am going to attempt to make an Irish red ale. Excuse me. Too much beer too quick. I'm going to make an Irish red ale. Kind of a little celebrating of an Irish heritage on my mother's side of the family. I figured I'd try that just as a way of, I like to make my beers kind of themed around something if I can. So that's going to be my next one. Hopefully I get all my ingredients, and I'll have that this weekend and get that up and show everybody. But again, cheers to the, I'm losing it here for a second, to my Oregon Trail beer that turned out actually pretty good. So cheers until the next time. So I'm sitting here having another because I like the beer. But I was looking over characteristics of a West Coast IPA, and I kind of wonder if I really did a true West Coast IPA, I might have to tweak this this recipe. You know, it says West Coast IPA should be citrusy, tropical flavors, peppery pine, grapefruit peels, and lemon rinds. I don't think mine's anything like that. I wish I could give this to someone and they could tell me like what it is I need to do to change it. Because I really like this beer and I like West Coast IPAs. And I thought I was, I put one together. I don't know. Kind of doubt myself now here. It's just trying to read over, I don't ever take into account the IBUs. So I got to make sure this is around 40 to 70 IBUs. So, that's what a typical West Coast IPA has. Again, I'm just reading off a site. They have a strong hop aroma. That's a double IPA, so I'm sorry. West Coast IPAs are bitter and hoppy. I don't necessarily feel this is bitter or very hoppy. It's probably why it's so easy to drink, so light. Maybe a little piney. Maybe. But I don't know. I definitely want to look into this, and I don't mean to make this video so long. I also forgot I wanted to share. I bottled up my blueberry mead this week too. This came in at, what is that? I'm going to show you in there. 13.65. Sweetest one I've made, which is interesting. I thought it was interesting because I thought I figured my blackberry would be a little sweeter than this one. I did them both kind of the same as far as back sweetening with about 6 ounces of the orange blossom honey, but this tastes pretty good too. I don't know if it's as good as the blackberry, but I was liking this. So got 4 bottles of it. I want to break it out already, but I'm supposed to let these things sit, right, and age a little bit more. So we'll see. To get me back. There we go. Wait, what's this? See that big mug? But again, didn't mean to make this video so long. I just want to touch on what I was reading about the West Coast IPAs, and then I did my blueberry. I have my strawberry. I'm going to rack it again. Try to help clear out some of that strawberry-ness from the puree out of it. Excuse me. I feel like I'm going to burp from drinking this beer. I don't want to do that to you. So that should be done. Hopefully I'll do that tomorrow. And I'm going to do a cherry mead. I figured I'd try that. My wife seems to think I'm ditching my beers for the meads, but it's just the meads are so easy to make, right? You got the fruit, honey, yeast. I mean, what else you have to do? It's like a 6-hour process to brew my beer, which is fine. I'm cool with that. But it was so easy to make meads, and I'm only making the gallons right now. Again, sorry to make this so long again. I just wanted to touch on this for some reason, just to talk about it. So, again, cheers. It's 4:30. I can't keep drinking these. I got to stop after this one. It's going to be hard, but I got to do it. Cheers.